Yes, friends. In this video, we can do the particularly existing with your data sheet, worksheet with using of pivot table. Pivot table with existing worksheet, it will that we can use the Excel file and create the pivot table. So now we can see that what is the meaning of this one, and we can use the particular data on the filing of this one. We have to clearing the particular data on the basis of this one. We have to clear the data. So make sure that we have to clearing of the data on the basis of this one. We have to clear the particular data. So we have clear the particular data on the basis of this one. In the insert tab, we have to see that pivot table option is available, right? Then pivot table, select the range table range of data, and this is a use the data from external source. So what is the use of data with external source? In the previous session, we have checked that data connection with the access, web, text, and other web source. We can find we can particular fetching of the data on this application also. So we have fetched the data on the basis of this one. So make sure that we have to fetch the data on this one, and we have to create a data of this one. In the particular data, we have to find out this value from access, from web, from text, from other source, and existing connection. We have to find out the value. On the basis of this one, we have to find this value, and connection, we have to connect that value. Now, we want to use this value on the basis of this from access, web, text, and from other source. This is existing connection. We have to find out the particular value. Now, make sure that we have to create this file. We have to pivot table, existing data source. Yeah, it's a existing data source. Choose the connection. New worksheet, existing worksheet. We have a particular connection. Now we have to browse this value. We have to browse this value. Now we will check that here is the any access file. Access is a star.mdb. So you can see first this file star.mdb file. You can see here start.mdb file is available. It will be searching from that file. It is a searching this file start.mdb is available or not. If I'm going from my computer and app drive. If it is not available, we want to create our own file. We want to create our own access file. New Microsoft Access database. The name is the first. Create table design. We have to first create our table. For example, I will write down name. roll number, this is a number, the name, underscore value, because name is a predefined value here, so it will be existing value. Roll number, name, then subject 1, subject 2, subject 3, total calculated. First we create the total. At that time we have to first delete this row, then control S, then the name is student 1. There is no primary key. We want to create this value as primary key. Primary key is a unique value. So we have to find out this value. Database, however, will store the multiple value x, y, z, subject 1, subject 2, subject 3. If we want to create the total, subject 1 plus subject 2 plus subject 3, then okay. So now total value is created. There is automatically sum is created. We have a varieties of value, so we have to create a pivot table. On the basis of pivot table we have to create a particular value. So now our table is created. Table name is file, save database as first dot xstp. We have to already save this database, so we have a control as, so they save this data, right? First dot xstp is save that. So now we want to open my Excel file. Now we want to open my Excel file, insert pivot table, use external data source, connectivity, connection. We have to find out the connection, browse this value, then we have to go for the desktop and the first.mdb. We can search the first.mdb value. This is XSDB. So we have to search the MDB. MDB is also Access database, but XSDB is also called as a database. So all the database, all the backup is coming from your side. XSDB, MDB, it's been also called as database, and there is an extension of all the data source: MDB, XSDB, ODBC. This is SQL connectivity. If you are create the SQL connectivity, XML, SS, HTML5, all our connectivity that is come from this connectivity. So make sure that this all the connectivity, it will be come from if it is come from your side. So you have to We have to finalize the particular database name from your XSDB, MDB, and MDB. This is, I think so, old database. Old database is the 2010 and old database. This is a MDB. Make sure that you have to finalize this value as XSDB. Browse the from XSDB. First, using worksheet, existing worksheet, new worksheet, existing worksheet. This is called a pivot table. Now you want to create a connection with the access database. For example, you have to put out the value roll number here, then subject 1, then subject 2, then subject 3, then total. This is all are the value. So make sure that all the values come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All the value, but the 6 of total is created. We want to create a pivot table also. We want this created pivot table. This is a pivot table. We want to create this pivot table. Sum of the total 1, total 2, total 3, and this total 1. If I want to use the only for slicing value, analyze, insert slicer value, that is a roll number, name, subject 1, subject 2. Here is a name value, then OK value. Then you can see here the particular name of this option. Name of this option, you have to see that. So you have to clear this value. On the basis of this value, we want to create this value. So make sure that this value for this option is created. Layout, access, data label. We want to show the data label. It will the data label is so subject 1, subject 2, and total. If I not put out the total here, we can put out on the subject 1, subject 2. You can see here the subject 1 and subject 2. So we want to create from existing data source also which one file we are created uh, on this file we want to create it on the particular data. For example, if I copy this database 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. For example, if this all are the data is available from new Excel worksheet, right? Here is a row number, subject 1, subject, and subject, right? And I want to use this file, save as database, desktop. If I'm going from the pivot table, desktop is clear, right? So pivot table file name is clear. Now we want to add the pivot table file here. It is addable or not addable. We can check that. Now we will check this particular value. This pivot table value is addable or not addable. Go for the data from other insert from the pivot table existing data source to the connection. Browse this value and go for all the file we want to create a pivot table dot Excel file. We want to create sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, and okay. Now you can see here. So one Excel data to come with another Excel data. Excel file is different and pivot table file is also different. Then you want to create this pivot table also. Here is your roll number, here is your subject 1, subject 2, subject 3. So this is your table. Then we want to insert the pivot pie chart this value. Now on the basis of this one, we have to create a particular slicer value. Analyze, insert slicer value, subject 1, subject 2, subject 3. So we want to create a subject 1, subject 2, subject 3 this value. So we will delete this value. On the basis of this value, we want to create a particular value. If you want to create an analyze tab, slicer tab, we want to create a subject 1, subject 2, subject 3. We want to create this. If we create a roll number, on the basis of roll number, we want to create this file. Analyze tab, insert slicer. If we are putting the roll number here, on the basis of roll number, we want to create this file. We want to take the 2 or 3 roll number at this moment. Take a label at center. So we want to create that this is subject 1, subject 2, subject 3 this value. We want to create a subject 6 value, so we want this create this one. So now we want to create a particular file. On the basis of this file, we want to create a particular value. So now we want to create this file. So now slicing option, slicing value. We want to create this file. We want to create also this file on the basis of pivot table. We want to create a particular format option of this file. Pivot table, and we want to create this pivot table, so we want to create this. So we want to create 1 2 6. So on the basis of this value, we want to create about a particular value, so we want to create this one. If we want to create other parts, for example, we want to create a local data, it will be not created this particular data, but the data is not a suitable from your chart, so it will be not a created from your side. So make sure that we will be created our own chart, own value, so it will be created. So make sure that it will be created from the different chart also. Change the chart type. There is a chart type is a different 50-50 value, 100, 150, 150 value, which is this value. This all are the value, it will be selected this one. On the basis of this one, we have to select the multiple values. So we can select this multiple values. On the basis of multiple values, we want to create it of the chart. So make sure that we want to create it of the different chart on the basis of the this value row number. On the basis of the row number, we want to create this row number. So we want to create this roll number 1 wise, roll number 2 wise, roll number 3 wise. This is all our the value. We want to put out this value, and we want to create a your chart value. Now we go on to particular connectivity. Here is a pivot table connection. Here is a pivot table connection. We have a multiple pivot table. We can create the connectivity of the pivot table. It means that first pivot table is changed, then on the basis of second pivot table also changed. This is called as a pivot table connectivity. But here is only one pivot table, so we want not create a pivot table connection. Here you can see that in option command, pivot table connection is also available, so you can create a pivot table connectivity. On the basis of pivot table connectivity, you can create your own chart. So make sure that you have to create a pivot table connectivity. On the basis of pivot table connectivity, you want to create your own pivot table. So make sure that first you will be create the pivot table, then you create the connectivity of the pivot table, connection of the pivot table. So make sure that you have to create a pivot table connectivity. On the basis of pivot table connectivity, we want to create a pivot table, and we want to create a connection between the two pivot tables. We want to create a pivot table. On the basis of pivot table, we want to creation of your own pivot table values. So we want to create the pivot table. Pivot table connection is basically used when you are creating the particular pivot. We want to create it on the dashboard. At that time, dashboard is a unique functionality, so it will be created when you are created the particular data, particular connectivity between the two pivot tables. So we have to create a two pivot table. On the basis of the two pivot table, we want to create the connectivity also. So make sure that between the two pivot table, we want to create the pivot table and pivot table connectivity. On the basis of pivot table connectivity, we want to create a connection between the pivot table. Connection between pivot table, we want to create the two pivot table and connectivity of the two pivot table. We want to create our own chart. We want to create our own chart. We want to create our own chart on the basis of the pivot table connectivity. Here is a pivot table connectivity. We want to create our own pivot table. So we want to create our own pivot table and we can create our own connectivity. So make sure that we want to create our own connectivity. On the basis of the own connectivity, we want to create our own pivot table also. So if you want to create our own connectivity, own pivot table, line chart with using of this one, we want to create a different code chart. On the basis of the code chart, we want to create a particular value. In this value, we have to put out this value item filter. It is a top 10 value. For example, if I'm going from the top 5 values, you can see here this is a top 5 value and you put out on the top 5 values chart. If you want to go for the insert tab, go for the pivot table. On the pivot table, choose the external data source. You have to choose this text file also, but text file you can put out this value or all the connectivity. For example, this one is your file. We want to create a text file. First is roll number, second is name, third is subject 1, second is subject 2, third is subject 3. If I want to add the connectivity, you can see here the value is this one. You have to value, this is called as text to column. We want to our value, we want to separation of this value. So if the separation of this value, we have separate that and separation of this value and we can separate this value. So we can separate it of this value. On the basis of this value, we have to create our own value. So make sure that this is next value and this is finish this value on the pivot table and okay. Data source reference is not valid. So it means that textual file we want to create the pivot table, it will be converted into the text format also. So if you want to create this text format, mm, So we want to create a particular file, and on basis of this one, we want to create our own file. We will create it. So make sure that we want to create our own file. On the basis of this file, we want to create a particular data. On the basis of this one, we want to create it. So Excel files is work, Excel file is work. So we want to create a connectivity. We will do work this connectivity. But database, sorry, text file is not working with your pivot table. So make sure that we want to create a existing data with the pivot table. We want to create it this. So we want to create a particular connectivity between the two pivot table. We want to create a particular connectivity between the two pivot table. So now we will connection of between the two pivot table. So make sure that we want to connect between two pivot table on this connectivity. So we want to create a two pivot table between two connectivity, and we want to create our own pivot value. So make sure that own pivot value, we want to create our own pivot value. So we want to create our own pivot value. On the basis of own pivot value, we want to create it on the particular value. So we have to connectivity between the two values, and connection between the two values. We want to create our own pivot chart. Own pivot chart, own pivot value. So make sure that all the data, all the value is a database connectivity will be the value will be the changeable value first and the pivot table value. So we want to change the first and pivot table value. So if you want to create a first and a pivot table value, we want to create this first and pivot table value, and on the basis of this one, we want to create our own value. Own value, own pivot table. So we want to create our own value, own pivot table. On the basis of this value, we want to create our particular value. So we want to create on a particular value on the basis of the first and pivot table value. So we want to create this one connectivity. On the connection, we will give the relationship between also. So we will create the relationship value also. We want to create the relationship, so we want to create our particular value. So we want to create a relationship also. So make sure that we want to create the relationship value. On the basis of this value, we want to create a particular data. So we want to create a particular data, first and second pivot table value. So if you want to use this first and second pivot table value, you have to put out this value on particular location, particular value. So we have to create a particular value. So make sure that we want to create a particular value. On the basis of this one, we want to create it about the data and how to put out the data, how to value about the data. So we have a clear idea about the particular value. On the basis of this value, we want to create it the particular row and column values. You have to put out this value. So make sure that you have to put this value. On the basis of this value, we want to create it about the particular location of this value. So we want to create the location of this value. So if you want to use this location of this value, we want to create our own value. So we do that. So make sure that you have to now clear about the connection. So we can discuss the next connectivity in the next session. Thank you, friends.